Naeem here. I hope you're all enjoying your holidays and Merry Christmas to those that celebrate. I'm super excited to bring this video to you guys. As you can see, Bitcoin hitting a new all-time high right now, above 24,530 US dollars, and I'm super excited to bring this content back to you guys as I've been working on a lot of projects that are soon going to be released to all of you in our Traders Profit Club group. And if you guys watched my video yesterday, I had an interview with Charles Hoskinson, the co-founder of Ethereum and the founder of Cardano, talking about where institutions are going to allocate their capital as we start to see more institutions like MassMutual and MicroStrategy invest hundreds of millions of dollars into Bitcoin. MicroStrategy over the last month has actually bought up all of the newly mined Bitcoin. And so there's a lot going on in the market. I'm glad to be back. I'll talk a little bit about where I was, what I'm working on, and what's to come for all of you guys towards the end of this video. But I want to focus on Bitcoin's price action right now. You can see all new highs, 24,500 US dollars, and we're currently in a zone of what I like to call price discovery. I've talked to hedge fund managers, I've talked to the whales, and this is what I want you guys to know. This is the question I've been getting from everyone. Where's Bitcoin headed? What price target am I watching? And here's the thing, right now, because we broke this previous all-time high from December 2017, which was right around that 19,798 US dollar mark, we are currently in a mode where we have the opportunity to go all the way up to 100,000 US dollars, but we can also stop at any point in time and see an over 50% retracement. And so I want you guys to realize what's happening right now. We are in price discovery, which means that as these institutions bring more liquidity into the market, as we start to see CME futures for Ethereum come out in February of next year, a lot of this is going to create stir in the market, and that's going to bring in a lot of liquidity. So we're going to look at some important parts of this chart because I know I haven't made a video in a while, so I want to address some of the key points here. And as we progress with more content throughout the week, then of course we can do a lot more of these micro technical analysis and take requests from the audience. But first and foremost, I want you to realize now we've got this key level, this breakout level of 19,798. We've yet to retest that. You can look on the daily chart here. Once we broke out of that, we've yet to come down to retest that. And oddly enough, that's also where the monthly open lies, right around that $19,800 mark. So for those of you looking to get another entry, maybe in for a day trade, that could be a potential opportunity. Realize that these other three areas that I've got lined up here at the $18,460, $11,205, and $9,665 mark are CME gaps that have been left open. And what that means is most of you guys that understand how trading and technical analysis works, 97% of gaps typically fill in every market, every asset. It's just how things work to legitimize a marketplace. And realize we're currently seeing that there's these three gaps down below and all the way down to that $9,665 mark. And so when we're looking at the long-term trend, the long-term entry for those that want to put more of a significant amount of capital into Bitcoin, realize there are those gaps down below. Now, when are we going to fill those gaps? That's unknown because we're currently in a price discovery mode where we've broken an all-time high, and now Bitcoin has the opportunity to see as much growth as it wants. And so I want you guys to keep that in mind as we start to do more of a micro analysis, but that's really the macro that I want you guys to keep in mind as we go into this 4-hour chart. So realize what we've got here right now. Of course, we have this monthly open that I am hoping and expecting to retest here sometime soon, and that's where I would potentially come in and put in a long for Bitcoin. But I'm going to talk about how I've been trading the markets. For those of you in our Discord group, you know we've been doing a lot of altcoins, buy stops and sell stop orders. I'm going to talk about those breakout trades that we've been taking advantage of because a lot of these altcoins are seeing a delayed reaction to Bitcoin, and it's easy to follow what Bitcoin does and then correlate that to what's happening with altcoins. So realize that monthly open, in my opinion, there's a high chance we come to retest that level. Now, what we can see here is we've got this multiple ascending triangle breakouts that have occurred. You can see here's one right here where we had this ascending triangle. This was the all-time high that broke. And now you can see we are breaking another triangle that was short-lived. And interestingly enough, you can see here, this is during the weekend, which means anything can happen. So now that we've broken this triangle, there's an opportunity for us to see another push up if we were to look at normal schematics and understand how schematics work. Typically, we'll see an equal level of a breakout from the previous breakout. So you can see here, currently our price target lies right around that 29 to $28,500 level for Bitcoin to potentially see during this weekend, but realize on the weekend anything happens because the CME markets are closed, and so there's a higher chance for a lot of manipulation. But understand that now that we've broken this triangle, there's a high chance that we will see that $28,500 level, and realize that what Bitcoin is doing right now, in my opinion, understand that we are in price discovery, so it's going to be hard to say what the exact trend is going to be like over the next few months, but realize that if we were to look at what happened to gold when we broke an all-time high, you can see gold being the outdated version of Bitcoin, right? Bitcoin being the new version of gold. When we broke this previous all-time high, we went just slightly above to around that $2,075 level, and you can see the previous all-time high was right around that that $1,900 level. You can see we then found a consolidation area in that zone, and realize that if Bitcoin were to follow the same price structure as gold, I'm not saying it's going to, then we will sooner or later see a slight retracement. Now, if we continue to see bullish momentum, more institutions coming in, there's a high chance we can continue higher, because Bitcoin, once again, is only a several $100 billion market cap asset in comparison to gold, where we're talking 10, $11 trillion in market cap. And so Bitcoin has a lot more room to see liquidity and to see its price and market cap grow than an asset like gold. But I want you guys to realize that a couple of charts that I'm watching that I believe are going to have a huge correlation with Bitcoin is traditional markets. We look at the SPY, the S&P 500, you can see we're currently seeing all-time highs almost every single week, which means that as we start to see the dollar value decrease and weaken, this is the DXY chart, which is the dollar value against other major currencies, you can see that we've been in this prolonged downtrend on this weekly chart. As we start to see this continuously decrease in value, asset prices will naturally want to increase and inflate, right? And so realize right now, we've got this little zone here between 89.562 and 91.015 for the DXY, where we had this previous consolidation. It was a previous bottom, actually, from, you can see this breakout from 2014. We saw this top form here, and this was actually a higher high that formed, and then we formed this bottom in this consolidation zone before we came up and then found a higher or a lower high. And this to me is important to realize, because if we break down below 89.562 when it comes to the DXY, then there's a high chance we can see a continuation down. And if that occurs, we have a huge opportunity when it comes to Bitcoin and other assets, because that means that prices are going to continue to skyrocket, and we're going to see even more inflated asset prices. And so realize that with what's happening with the DXY right now, we've broken a major trend here, and this to me is very bearish for the DXY. You can see we had this trend line form, and once we broke down from here, this to me, because this is a macro perspective, is showing a vastly large downside potential and bearish potential price action for the DXY, which in my opinion is going to affect the price of Bitcoin and other asset classes. So I think this is an important chart to watch for those of you guys that don't understand how the DXY correlates with asset prices, and realize that when we look at gold versus Bitcoin, I'd like to look at this gold versus Bitcoin chart, because a lot of us, once again, we're investing in Bitcoin and gold because we see it as an insurance policy against a corrupt Federal Reserve. And therefore, I don't want to look at the US dollar value of Bitcoin. I'd rather look at Bitcoin against another hard asset that's limited in quantity and has some of the similar properties of Bitcoin, and that to me is gold. And when we look at this chart, you can see this was the 2017 top for Bitcoin. Gold against Bitcoin came down to around that 0.06527 or 575 area, and we're currently at 0.07683, heading down, potentially either double bottom or even see a more a prolonged downtrend period where we may break this low and Bitcoin's price will overcome that of gold. And if that occurs, that's where we're going to start to see more of gold's market cap transfer into Bitcoin, as we've seen JP Morgan talk about and other institutions talk about when they've realized that over the last few months we've seen a lot of liquidity flow away from gold, silver, and platinum into Bitcoin. And so understand, with Bitcoin being such a small market cap, there is a lot of room to increase. I think the last time I did the calculation, Bitcoin has a 46x increase potential from where it's at right now to go ahead and equal the same market cap as gold. And so if we were to expect Bitcoin, the new version of gold, to surpass or at least equal the market cap of gold, then we're looking at about a 40 to 50% or 40 to 50x increase, right? Not a percent, a 50x increase, a 50 multiplied increase, right? And so it's very interesting to watch these charts. And so I think this is the biggest thing to realize for Bitcoin is, number one, we're in price discovery. And so anything can happen. There's no levels to watch when it comes to these higher levels, because realize that at this point, with institutions flowing money into Bitcoin and throwing all of this liquidity and capital into Bitcoin, the sky is really the limit. And so if we were to look at where Bitcoin's price target is in the short term, we could say 28, 29,000 because of this micro trend and this breakout that we can go ahead and copy the schematics of and say to ourselves, yes, there is that potential to come right below 30,000 US dollars. But realize that the only place that we can look at that's similar to what's happening in terms of market structure, because that's very important, is gold. And when gold saw a breakout, as we're seeing with Bitcoin, past that previous all-time high, it wasn't too long before we saw consolidation. And so if we start to see sell volume come in, then what I'm expecting is for us to first come down to this monthly open and see some sort of a consolidation here before a further increase in price action. Now, if we continue higher, that, in my opinion, towards that $29,000 to $30,000 level, will invalidate that comparison to gold's market structure. And we've been looking at gold compared to Bitcoin since the start of this channel, and we've always talked about Bitcoin most likely coming up and seeing new all-time highs, just like what we saw with gold. And so I think that's important to realize here. And I want to talk about how I'm trading the market. Before I wrap up this video, I have a meeting to attend, but realize that I'm going to be releasing some new programs soon. For those of you guys in our Discord, in our Traders Profit Club Discord, we have a lot of new things coming for you guys, and I'm super excited to make that announcement here very soon as we complete our programs that we are going to be releasing to you guys, to talk about DeFi, to talk about how to properly trade these markets when it comes to altcoins and Bitcoin. Of course, Bitcoin seeing a dominance, as of recently, that is far surpassing altcoins. We're starting to see a lot of these altcoins bleed. There's a certain strategy, and I'll actually talk about one of those strategies right now. I'll pull up one of the trades that we actually had recently. This was today. This was Monero. Once we started to see Bitcoin climbing up, I realized, okay, perfect. Now altcoins typically have a delayed reaction. I want to talk about this trade specifically. This was a buy stop, which basically means if we were to pull up the Monero chart, you can see my entry level for this trade was right at this breakout level. And so you can see here, the first red line here was my stop loss. This right here was my entry, and this was my first target, which is right about that 0.4% mark with a 3x leveraged position. That's about 1% of profit. That actually ended up being around 3% so far for this specific trade. But I want you guys to realize how I've been trading altcoins. So realize that this trade was sent right around this time here, and this was prior to this push up. And what I was watching here was I saw that we had a level here once, twice, that we saw resistance at. And this is just one example of a trade that I've been, utilizing when it comes to altcoins and how to profit with altcoins. And so I knew that if we were to come and break this level, which was 158.65, there was a high chance, if we were to break that level, that we'd at least wick up higher. And with altcoins being such a low market cap, just this wick up was around 1.4%. So we're talking about a day trade here. And so realize that for those day trading, there is a lot of opportunity when it comes to these breakouts. And so I call this a breakout trade. And you can see as soon as this started to push up, we saw an immediate candle the next hour that pushed the price all the way past 158.65. over 1% higher, and that to me is a solid trade on 3x. That's a 3% gain in an hour. And so realize that this is an example of how I've been trading the market, and I'm going to be doing a lot more of these examples for you guys. I hope you're appreciating this content and this this teaching. And for those of you that aren't in our Discord group, the link is in the description below. It's discord.gg/profits. And for those of you in our Traders Profit Club premium group, I want you guys to be excited. Over the next few months, we have a new app being released. We've got a new course being released, and I've got a lot of potential partnerships that are in the works right now and are in the final discussions to being made. And these are people that you guys probably watch on YouTube on a daily basis. If you guys don't know, I'm here in Dubai right now. I had the opportunity to interview Charles Hoskinson. I was actually with Brock Pierce a month ago, helping him run for president. He actually flew myself and my business partner out to Wyoming, and we had an amazing time. For those of you that keep track and follow me on Instagram, you guys know, all the things I've been up to. If you're not on my Instagram, it's just my first name at Naeem. But realize I'm now in Dubai, hanging out with Crypto Jack, the Moon Carl, Crypto, the largest YouTubers, because we believe in collaboration over competition, as you guys may have heard me talk about in our video yesterday when we interviewed Charles Hoskinson. But realize there's a lot more content to come. I appreciate each and every one of you guys that have stuck with us for the last 3 years, being one of the oldest cryptocurrency channels on YouTube. And of course, I've been active on the Discord every single day since we've launched this Discord 3 years ago. And so for those of you that want to always keep up with my market updates, if you want to talk to me in the chats, I am always in our Discord. We have one of the largest cryptocurrency Discord groups in the world with over 20,000 plus members. And so with that being said, I'm super excited for what's to come. I'm super excited about what's happening with Bitcoin. And Merry Christmas, Happy Holidays to everyone here. Thank you guys so much for watching this video. And until next time, Naeem out. Snipers out.